She was born on a Louisiana cotton plantation to parents who had been enslaved. Orphaned by age 7. Married at 14 to escape abuse. Widowed at 20 with a baby to feed. By her late 30s, she was washing laundry for $1.50 a day, and her hair was falling out. Everyone would have understood if she had just given up. But Sarah Breedlove had a dream that seemed impossible. She was going to become rich. And against every odds imaginable, she did it. She became America's first self-made female millionaire. This is the story of the woman who would become known as Madam C.J. Walker. Let's start at the very beginning, because Sarah's early life reads like a nightmare. She was born on December 23, 1867, on the same plantation where her parents had been enslaved just years earlier. The Civil War had just ended, but her parents were still working the same land, picking cotton for the same people, now as sharecroppers. Different name, same poverty. Sarah only knew crushing poverty. Her family lived in a one-room cabin, working from sunrise to sundown. There was never enough food, never enough of anything. Then, it got worse. When Sarah was just 5, her mother died. 2 years later, her father died too. At 7 years old, Sarah was an orphan. She moved in with her older sister and her abusive husband. To escape, at 14, she got married. She had her daughter Lelia at 18, and for a brief moment, things seemed like they might be okay. Then her husband Moses died. Some say it was an accident, others suggest he was killed by a lynch mob. Either way, at 20 years old, Sarah was a widow, alone, with a 2-year-old daughter. She had no education and no skills beyond picking cotton and washing clothes. Sarah made a decision that probably saved her life. She took Lilia and moved to St. Louis, Missouri, where her brothers worked as barbers. She found work as a washerwoman, doing backbreaking laundry for about $1.50 a day. But Sarah had a dream for her daughter. Lilia was going to get an education. So Sarah worked, saved every penny, sent Lilia to public schools, and went to night school herself to learn to read and write. Then, Sarah's hair started falling out. The stress, poor nutrition, and harsh conditions took their toll. She tried every home remedy, every product she could find, but nothing worked. One night, Sarah later claimed, she had a dream where a man told her what ingredients to mix to heal her scalp. Whether it was a dream or just her own experiments finally paying off, we'll never know. But we do know she created a formula that worked. Her hair started growing back, her scalp healed. And when other black women noticed and asked what she was using, Sarah saw an opportunity. In 1905, at age 37, Sarah moved to Denver and married Charles Joseph Walker. She started calling herself Madam C.J. Walker. The Madam title gave her an air of sophistication. Brilliant branding. She started selling her hair care products, the Walker system, door to door to black women. But here's what made her different. She wasn't just selling a cream, she was selling dignity. She was selling the idea that black women deserved to feel beautiful and confident. She understood her customers because she was them. She had lived their struggles. She would demonstrate her products, talk about self-care, and women loved her for it. She was authentic. She was relatable. Word spread fast, and orders poured in. Sarah couldn't keep up, so she did something radical. She started recruiting other black women as sales agents. She called them Walker agents. She basically invented the multi-level marketing model, but her agents were actually making good money. A Walker agent could earn more in a week than she could washing clothes for a month. Sarah was offering black women economic independence at a time when their options were almost non-existent. She moved to Pittsburgh, and her business exploded. She advertised in black newspapers and did mail order. By 1910, she had thousands of agents across the country and was making serious money. The black community celebrated her. She was living proof that black people could succeed in business. But white America largely ignored her success, often with skepticism or racism. The idea of a black woman millionaire was too far outside their worldview. Sarah didn't care. She kept building. In 1913, she moved to Harlem, the center of black culture, and built a factory and a beauty school. She was creating jobs, manufacturing on a large scale. She bought a townhouse, then built an enormous estate in Irvington, New York, right on the Hudson River, next to some of the wealthiest white families in America. The mansion was called Villa Lauro, and it was her statement to the world, "I made it. One belong here." At her peak, Sarah had over 25,000 Walker agents across the U.S., Central America, and the Caribbean. Conservative estimates put her worth at over $1 million by 1917. She was the wealthiest black woman in America and likely the wealthiest self-made woman of any race. But what truly set Sarah apart was that she didn't just get rich. She used her money and influence to fight for her community. She donated enormous amounts to black schools, colleges, and orphanages. She funded scholarships and supported the NAACP. She even met with President Woodrow Wilson as part of a delegation demanding federal anti-lynching legislation. A black woman born into the aftermath of slavery was now confronting the President of the United States. She also advocated for black women specifically. She hired them for professional positions in her company as chemists, sales managers, and executives. She organized annual conventions for her Walker agents, which were more than business meetings. They were celebrations of black women's achievement. Thousands would gather, discussing business strategies and success stories. These conventions were acts of resistance, declarations that black excellence existed and demanded respect. But the success came at a cost. Sarah worked constantly, and the stress was enormous. She developed high blood pressure and kidney disease. In 1919, at just 51 years old, she died at Villa Lauro, the mansion she built as a monument to what was possible. Here's the tragedy. Despite everything she accomplished, her story was largely forgotten for decades. History books didn't mention her. Business schools didn't study her. The narrative of American entrepreneurship had no room for a black woman who started on a plantation. That erasure was intentional. Sarah's story challenges everything America wanted to believe about itself. She succeeded in a system designed to destroy her. Think about the obstacles she faced. Born into extreme poverty. Orphaned, abused, widowed. A single mother with no education, living through the most violently racist period in American history. Starting with less than nothing. And from that, she built $1 million business, created an industry, and employed thousands. She did what was supposed to be impossible. Sarah's story matters because it reminds us that the people society underestimates are often the most remarkable. Every black woman entrepreneur today walks a path Sarah helped create. Every person who builds something from nothing against systemic barriers is living out her legacy. Madam C.J. Walker didn't just sell hair products, she sold possibility, from cotton fields to millions, from orphan to entrepreneur, from forgotten to unforgettable. That's the story of Madam C.J. Walker, and it's a story that deserves to be told again and again. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I did, please like this video and subscribe for more.